Hi, Bob. We're recording now.
Channel Bob.
I got a shot of the Avatar finally, and I'm kidding.
Oh, you
It's
just
not ruined yet.
you just got his hopes up super big.
Yeah, I know. He's like, oh, OMG. Well, he doesn't have the game yet either.
He's
Does
like,
he?
you bloody bastard. And I got some of my armor. I got my new chest piece. And my armor's not broken. And I figured out why my armor kept unequipping. So, yay for me.
Pressing the unequip button?
Sort of. It turns out that in the little combat battle card deck things, like, I kept, like, resetting it, and since my armor was already, like, unequipped from the last time I reset it, some of it, it just kept, like, saving it with other armor unequipped over and over and over. And, yeah.
That's good.
Yep. It's fan-freaking-tastic. So somebody pointed that out to me on the forum. They're like, maybe. Oh, hey, sweet, I'm stuck in combat. There we go. There's a lot of people with the stuck in combat problem, and it happens all over the world, so apparently I'm not the only one. And yes, I know that Z takes you out of Z. The Z key takes you out of combat. I know that, Mr. Bob. Otherwise, his little weapons would never go away. So, but yeah, it's apparently that's a problem all over the server, and there's no official responses, but that shit needs to get fixed because you have to run like all the way the hell out of the freaking zone, and then maybe that'll fix it. Maybe it won't. I guess like you might just have to like log out and log back in, which obviously I don't want to do since I'm recording. So, but as soon as I'm fighting something, like I'm done fighting it, so okay, there, it's working now. I'm wondering if it has to do with server lag, because sometimes it kicks me out of combat right away. Like, I'm not in combat right now. It's been, about a good 10 seconds? There, it finally recognized it. So I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of server lag thing.
I don't know why.
Oh, what?
I don't know why I just thought about this, but I just looked up on YouTube the release date for Star Wars Battlefront 3, or videos of it, and as I googled it, I said Star Wars Battlefront 3, and 3 options showed up, and 2 of them I don't remember, but only one of them was actually important, and it said canceled, and I'm like, oh, don't even. So I click on it, and it's like, canceled, leaked footage not and I'm like, what the hell? And basically they just said that they stopped giving released leaked videos or whatever, but googling Star Wars Battlefront canceled, 1 is apparently a pretty googled thing, and 2 is stupid.
Stupid.
Okay, so it comes out in December for PS4, but I don't actually know when it comes out for PC, which is probably like December.
Well, they usually put December on video games when they don't actually think it's going to come out that year, but they don't want to say the next year and get everybody pissed off at them.
Oh. Yeah. So like December 31st, and then they're like,
That's
oh, never mind,
code.
it's like...
Yeah, because I think originally Hellraid was supposed to come out sometime last year, and then they postponed it to like Q1 this year, and well, that was before they got a whole new freaking team assigned to them after Dying Light did so well. So, you know. The thing is, though, I know you're all hyped, and he's all hyped about Battlefront and stuff, but I haven't seen anything yet that says that we should be super duper excited about it.
Well, you didn't play 1 and 2.
Yeah, I know, but the next game in the series isn't always better.
Well, if it isn't, then we have good reason to be pissed at them, because they've taken 16 years to... Actually, probably almost 16 years. I just pulled that number. But, let's see if I can find some kind of gameplay. If not, then I'll get, like, Battlefront 2 gameplay.
Because, I mean, I know it seems like we've talked about this until we're both at the proverbial standstill, but it's not like all the other Star Wars games where there's actually a campaign mode. A story to go through.
No, there's still a story to go through, and it usually, like, for Battlefront 2, it revolved around the clones. And you played as the 501st, and you went through a whole bunch of planets, kind of going by their story. I mean, I don't know how true, how well they stuck with the actual 501st story, but they definitely had a 501st story. That was a campaign. And for the first one, there was like 2 campaigns, and the first one was a pretty old game, but they had a game going by the Rebels and a game going by the clones. And I think for number 2, they were just like, screw the Rebels, you get to kill them. And screw the droids too, and you get to kill them. And you just get to play as the clones and the stormtroopers in the campaign mode. And then if you actually want to play droids, which you shouldn't, because they get blown up every 2 seconds.
Like battle droids, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which you can play a droidica, and you can play a super battle droid, and you can play...
That would be broken. Droidica.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. They have a lifespan of a shield, like a force barrier.
Yeah.
And then it needs to regen, and then you can use it again, like 20, 30 seconds later. It's still pretty nice, but... and their shield. Their shield is like they show it in the cartoons. You throw a grenade under them. Doesn't matter if they have their shield on. They blow up.
Oh, you saw that episode where they were practicing throwing the grenades under the droidicas? That was a cool episode.
Yeah, they did that in a couple different episodes. One of the last ones with where Tup goes crazy and kills the Jedi.
Yeah.
Well, they got some droidicas come up on them, and they tossed a couple grenades under them.
Yeah, but I know that. But the practice episode was cool because I never understood like the mechanics of it. They're like, you got to throw it really slow, but not too slow, or it won't get there. But not so fast that it recognizes it as a projectile. Now I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And so they just sit there and practice over and over. Like, that looks like fun. I want to practice rolling grenades.
Yeah, I remember that.
Droidicas. And then it zaps the droidica and is like, la, 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 la. It's so funny. Oh. But then that episode was really sad because What's Their Butt dies because Ahsoka can't force levitate him for some reason. She gets distracted and then force drops them. The gal's sister or something. And I thought maybe she was doing it because she was jelly. But she wasn't jelly because it was just a sister.
She's jelly.
Yeah, I know, she's jelly anyway. Ahsoka's always jelly of every girl that's around. think I was like playing Reassembly a day or two ago, and I was still talking about Star Wars, and it's like, but I'm not playing Star Wars games. I don't want to freaking talk about Star Wars on my other channel. No Star Wars allowed, damn it. Well, this armor's great. These bears aren't even hurting me. These bears were destroying me yesterday. So I wasn't wearing half my armor, and the other half of my armor was destroyed. So that's out. Bear just knocked me down. So that's good. The forum thread about changing the camera angles or giving us another camera angle option is gaining a lot more support. There's a couple people that are like, "Oh, we want it to stay the same." It's like, well, you can keep it the same. We don't care. Just make a second camera option. It's not that big of a deal, you guys. Calm down. Like, nothing's allowed to change as long as you're around. Like, am I getting that right? So, been really good support for it, so I'm gonna keep that bumped like every couple days. Try to get the camera changed. Because things like you're asking, like, about the, what's really going on in combat? Well, yeah, the reason why I don't change it is because it's a bitch to move the camera every single time. Otherwise, you'd know that the guy attacks on his own. But when I'm standing, like, over the mob, like, you can't tell what the hell's going on. So, I try to change the camera angle, but I gotta hold my right click, move the camera, then I gotta zoom the camera out, and I have to do that, like, every single time. And I have to hold... Oh, that guy... See, because I didn't have the camera swinging around that way, then that guy snuck up on me. And you're like, well, they could do that anyway, even if the camera angle was switched around. Well, yeah, but I'm not used to right-click moving my camera. I'm used to left-click moving my camera, and I'm used to right-click moving my body around. And so I would never do that normally. And going back to any other game means I have to go back and do it the opposite. And I was trying to play TOR last night, and controlling the camera all freaking wrong. Because this game's got to have a different camera control for some reason. Bird. Oh, better check my weight. Nope, I still got weight.
They have a space battle that kind of looks like the inside of Void Star.
Very cool. Man, I mow through these wolves and bears now that my armor's not falling apart. That's good. There's going to be archers in this game. This video.
Yeah, actually, I was wondering that. I was going to ask you that. You talked about spears, because you're saying you had to get in exactly the right position, and you were wondering about spears because they have less of a range problem. I wonder if they have like a minimum range problem. That would suck.
UO never had a minimum range dead zone. And even WoW eventually got rid of their archery dead zone. Oh, I found some nightshade! Holy crap! This is amazing! Well, it would help if these plants would go back to sparkling. Spears never had a minimum dead zone either. But actually, you didn't, it was stupid, but you never got a range advantage with halberds or, which sucked, but didn't matter. They hit so freaking hard that people saw you running around with a spear or a halberd and they ran the other direction. Because spears could, I believe, armor ignore and mortal strike, I think, which meant you couldn't heal at all. I think potions were the only thing that could heal through a mortal strike, and potions weren't great. You could, and then halberds could, I believe, dismount and bleed. So if you saw somebody running around with a halberd that was not on a horse, you ran the other direction because it meant they were going to knock you off your horse and kill your horse. And then you were screwed. And then it was funny too because if you were like, felt like a real extra bastard that day, you could poison your halberd and then run around.
And poke someone.
It was like halberds are like these giant, it's like an axe head at the end of a really long stick, like a pole, called pole arms. And so imagine a spear, but instead of a spear at the end, like an axe head. That's what halberds were. So, but there was no minimum, but there was no
longer range.
Yeah, there was no longer range. I don't know where that would be, because there's no range value. But I keep pushing these wolves back, and then I can't hit them anymore. So, makes me wonder. But yeah, in UO there was no minimum archery range, and archer was like one of the strongest things in the whole game. I mean, they just hit like a ton of bricks. They kept having to nerf it because it was hitting so hard. But then they would just, sooner or later, buff it again, and everybody would min-max it, and it would just be... You could like 2-hit somebody with a bow and arrow. You'd hit them for like 60 HP, and then another 60 HP, and they'd be dead. Unless they had absolutely stacked up HP, and then the third one. By the second one, they wouldn't have any stamina left because they'd be running around with no life, which decreased your stamina. This game doesn't have stamina, so I'm interested in seeing how people PvP, but at the same time, like, I want to have a really, really good character before I try to PvP.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. So, what's the VP like, and like how do you queue, or what level do you queue? And
no, bleh. No, this game doesn't do bullshit Warzone stuff.
Okay, so it's open world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Queue? How do you queue for it?
Seeing like 8 minutes of one video. I don't really know too much about it.
Real games don't have war zones because they don't need them. WoW didn't have war zones for a long time.
Let me think about all the games I've ever played. Let's see. Star Wars? Oh, war zones. WoW? Okay, war zones. Wizard 101? Well, they had duels. Same thing. It could be like a 4v4 duel. Yep. There you go.
Yeah. In UO, people just made up reasons to fight and kill each other.
MMOs. Any other MMOs that I play? Marvel's kind of an MMO-ish.
Yeah, Marvel does have dueling areas. But I think that's because if they didn't do that, I imagine open world PvP in Marvel would be an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
A hilarious disaster.
No, right? They could make like top of Stark Tower that you have to find a secret door to, or the one square of downtown, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to get a character in Nintendo, all you need to do is get him to like level 3 or something. Or, yeah, like level 3, I think. And then take him to downtown Patrol Madness Square, whatever the hell it is. 50 AoEs, like my fire guy. Pyro Man, Pyromaniac. That guy, so many mobs. You just grab a whole bunch of mobs, which is not hard, and then you just incinerate them all, and you get like a level per 2 mobs, and there's like 18 mobs. And then once you stop leveling super easily, then you go kill a boss, or 2 or 3 or 4. Which the other day when I logged in, there was like 4 bosses going on at the same time in different areas.
Jeez.
So, yeah, that was how I got Hawkeye to level 37 from like 14 or 15 to 37 in like an hour. Because there must have been some kind of special event going on, because they kept dropping these boxes. They kept dropping these boxes that was like downtown awesome box or something weird like that, and then each boss would drop like 1 or 2 or 3. Occasionally they wouldn't drop any, but most of them dropped between 1 and 3. And then you open the box, and then in addition to all the EXP and loot that they drop, this would drop more XP, like a lot, and loot.
Yeah. It was a double reward weekend.
Oh,
so there was actually 2 or double events. There was 2 events going on at the same time. Yeah. Because they don't give a shit, so they do things like that.
But so how come they dropped those boxes? Because it was double event? Or?
I don't know. That's just what they programmed it to do.
Well, in any case,
they don't have a reason to do anything. They just feel like it.
Just do it.
There's no shits given.
Not a single shit was given.
Nope. They just press all the buttons, and then if everybody maxes out their characters, oh well. There'll be a new character in a week or 2.
That's true.
It would be like if but I hate to keep bringing up Star Wars because that's the other channel. But it would be like if TOR decided to do like Gree and Rackles and double XP weekend and turn on the PvP double rewards and turn on the GSF double rewards and make all conquests on all at the same time just because they felt like it.
I know. What I would do if I worked there and you know, I decided, you know what, I'm going to keep Musco. I'd put him in a very special room and I'd give him a whack-a-mole hammer. And then, and I'd be like, go crazy. And I'd put like a Gree button, a Rackwool button, a double XP button, a ×12 button, a Warzone button, and a GSF button, and whatever the other events are. And I'd put all the buttons on a table. And I'd make that the only table in the room. And I'd lock the door. And I'd be like, mash buttons. And I'd make them blink every couple seconds. And then that would just turn it on for, like, a day.
Yeah. Like, surprise, today is everything Conquest Day. And that would be great. Because then, like, right in the middle of a conquest, you could, like, completely redetermine, like, the possible outcome of that week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, everybody thought Rain was going to take over, but then Rain took a break. And then he said, today PvP is worth 4 times as much. And they're like, what? What? GSF is worth
×12 PvP.
Yeah, ×12 GSF. What? I mean, they could do that, but they won't. So that's what. Yeah.
Nope. And you know, I was pissed that I didn't max out my Gree. I had a week to do it, but I didn't do it because I was doing other stuff. We were all doing other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm gonna have to wait another 6 years before it comes back. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't. It's Gree weekend. Okay, now it's Bounty weekend. Okay, now it's
that would be cool.
Rackwool weekend. Now it's triple XP weekend. Now it's double rewards weekend. I mean, something. Come on, you gotta like keep people like interested.
They could do like double. They could do like quadruple arena weekend or something. And then if people are busy, they wouldn't feel like they missed anything.
Yeah, and then that would be like a reason for people to do ranked.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool if they would do. It'd have to be like a huge number, like quadruple arena, but then they gotta watch to make sure nobody cheats it. But if they do that anyway, then who cares?
Yeah, which, by the way, they allegedly either banned or banned for a couple weeks or months or something a whole bunch of people for win trading.
Good.
Yeah.
Cocksuckers. They should at least.
I think Bastion was and a couple people, and I'm like, wow, if they're win trading on Bastion, then that is just sad. They could just go to Harbinger. They must be noobs, new foreigners.
server foreigners.
Yeah.
Deport their ass.
Yeah.
Well, there should be like little flags, you know, like if you're mean to our peers, like your account like is never allowed back on an RP server. If you do some jackal thing like win trading, you're not allowed on the PvP servers anymore.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But that would be awesome. Some kind of quadruple thing. I'm glad they're banning people though. But what I hope they do is I hope they ban them until, or at least they don't have to ban them, but maybe just remove the ability to join arena for the rest of the season, kind of like they do, like in football. And like, didn't some basketball guy just beat the shit out of one of his fans again the other day? I mean, so just kick him out of the season.
What's his name? Oh, well, there was some guy the other day who I forgot to look up what he did, but Grizzlies suspend Tony Allen for tonight's game for violating team policy. And I'm assuming team policy is like don't punch fans in the face.
Punch fans in the face. Asshole.
It's gone now, but who was it? It was like some guy with a giant beard. James Harden. James Harden kicked LeBron in the nuts.
LeBron was going, "What should I do? Should I admit that I was right in the nuts?" Stop being such a try-hard. Just admit you were wrong. Damn, kicked him in the nuts. How'd you even get your foot up that high? I mean, aren't those guys all 7 feet tall?
I'll show you.
Did he push him down first?
He was on the ground.
Oh,
he was
really?
He was like wrestling for the ball, and James was like above him wrestling to like, pull it away. And he just kicks him in the nuts.
Damn, it's hardcore. It's like WWE basketball shit or something. Animals. They don't teach them conflict resolution.
Yeah. Well, James Harden duel to over. That looks like fun.
Well, all I'm saying is they should have to deal with like the legal ramifications. Obviously, assault, and if they press charges or whatever. But there should be also an in-game. It shouldn't be complete and total suspension. Like force them to watch the game and wear like a pink uniform or something, or a dunce cap. There you go. If they play the game, they have like a big pink cheater hat that they can't take off. With like a 20% debuff to everything. That would be hilarious.
That would.
Same thing with basketball. They'd have to sit there and wear their hat until they learn to behave.
Oh yeah, and they have to sit on like the baseline.
Yeah. And they have to cheer for the other team. And they have to shake the other team's hand and or something. Give them all high fives.
Bring him some Gatorade.
Bring them. Yeah, it has to give them all Gatorade. Whoops, I don't have any. I need to buy some more wax. Or, right? Is that right? No, salt. Doop, doop, doop.
Ooh, here's an interview with James Harden after the game, where he kicked his nuts. He's wearing a nice hat.
I just went in
I gotta
there,
shoot this just for the hat.
and I just went to go for the gold, and kicked him in the nuts. You know how they always have their stupid-ass speech? Always just, give 100%. It kicked him in the nuts 100%.
Channel testimonial. Link to youtube.com.
I'll check it out in a second.
Mm-hmm.
I've got all this animal hide that I have to turn into leather pieces.
Oh yeah, it's actually kind of annoying. I can't actually hear anything that he's saying. He's like they're all mumbling everything. Like
They don't
whoever
have a
recorded
good-
this,
They don't
their
have a good
audio is
mumble
terrible.
server. Get a better mumble server.
This and that and that, and then he kicked him in the ballsack, and then what did you think about kicking him in the ballsack? Oh, I thought it was beautiful, and I thought I had a great time doing it, and I do it every day until the next time that I play him.
We practiced in training, and then so I just went out there and executed his ball sack. He sure did. He must have trained for a long time for that move.
He did. The only thing I heard out of that whole sentence was uncomfortable.
Well, I'm sure it was really uncomfortable. Like, I bet his nuts are really uncomfortable right now. Well, hey, this might actually be enough leather to make my new pants.
Hey yo.
I'll have to check and see. How many... Okay, it takes 5 leather to make a yard, and I think I need 7 yards, so... Maybe not quite. But definitely next trip. Seems like it takes about 2 to 2.5 trips to...
Channel testimonial. Link to
Jeez.
youtube.com.
That second one is him kicking him in the nuts.
Why is that so funny? It's like...
But watching it's funny again. It's so funny.
Alright.
Oh, and like a couple minutes earlier in that game, LeBron fell on someone else, and they said that he kicked him in the nuts as well, but I think he like legged him in the groin null region. It wasn't like a full nut kick. This is a full nut kick.
So when he falls on, quote unquote, falls on people, does he fall on them like with his elbow? Or does he like fall on them with his
fingers.
knee? Ugh.
With like his fingers
Maybe-
pointed out.
Maybe he's grabbing for their balls. Maybe.
With
I
his
don't know.
chin pointed at him.
His giant chin. No. That's gotta be really tough playing basketball.
It has got to be. He goes grabbing for him and he just kicks him right in the nuts.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'll combine this leather into a big leather pile. And then I'll break the video, and then I'll go check out. Oh yeah, 24 stacks of leather. Hey yo.
Commentator says, and LeBron here is barking that he was kicked by James Harden. I'm like, yeah, he barking.
Squeaking?
He kicked me in the nuts.
He kicked me in the nuts.
Kicked me in the nuts. Where'd he get you? In the nuts.
Could you explain exactly where it hurts? My nuts. Okay. In the nuts.
Where
The cat's looking at me like I'm weird. Alright.